Today we are going to work on Microsoft Excel. Microsoft Excel allows us to collect data and use that data to create a graph or chart. So we're going to collect data today for our chart that we are going to create in Microsoft Excel. But before we got started, I thought it'd be great to review what we've learned in our class about charts and graphs and collecting data. So let's watch this brain pop real quick on graphs and charts.
Where should we go on our next class trip? The zoo, the firehouse, or the apple orchard? I'm taking a survey and making a tally chart. What are surveys and tally charts? A survey is a list of questions used to collect information or opinions. Let's see. There are 3 dinosaurs here. Let's take a survey to find out which one our classmates like best. We can use a tally chart to record data or information. Let's see. Moby likes the Stegosaurus the best. You can draw 1 tally mark to stand for 1 vote. 5 kids like the Triceratops. So I'll draw 5 tally marks in that row. 1, 2, 3, 4. The 5th mark is drawn across the other 4. Well, when you group the tally marks by 5s, you can count by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20. Sets of 5s are easier to count. 7 kids like the T-Rex. So after I draw 5 tally marks, I can add 2 more to make 7. Oh, right. I forgot to vote. My favorite dinosaur is the Triceratops. I'll add a tally mark to that row. It's really easy to add to tally charts. Now I can count the votes and use the tally chart to make a bar graph. What is a bar graph? A bar graph is a way to organize and show data. You can write the categories on the bottom. The 3 dinosaurs are the categories. Then you can write the numbers on the side. The numbers in our bar graph show how many people voted for each dinosaur. Let's see. 1 student liked the Stegosaurus the best, so I fill in 1 square. 6 people voted for the Triceratops, so I color in 6 squares. 7 people said the T-Rex was their favorite dinosaur. You can also put the categories on the left and the numbers on the bottom. You can display the same information in a different way so you can understand it better. How can you use bar graphs to understand information? Bar graphs help you answer questions. Which dinosaur did people in our class like the best? Right, the T-Rex is the most popular. Which dinosaur did people like the least? The Stegosaurus got 5 fewer votes than the Triceratops. You can even use the bar graph to figure out the total number of students who voted. Just add the votes from each category. 14 kids voted in all. I'm almost done with the survey on where to go for our next class trip. So far, the zoo is the most popular. It has 16 votes. But I don't have your vote yet, Moby. Where do you want to go? The moon? I don't think the bus will get us there.
So now that we've reviewed charts and graphs and collecting data, we're going to use this picture of a classroom to collect our own data. How many boys and girls do we see in this classroom? So let's count. Let's count the boys first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So how many boys do I need to mark? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now let's count the girls. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so I've collected my data. I need to record my answers. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boys and 4 girls. Okay. Now that we've recorded our data, what should we do with this data now? That's right, we need to graph it. Before we start graphing, let's go over our learning goal for today. The students will be able to utilize Microsoft Excel to create spreadsheets. And we want to be a 3. So you are able to demonstrate an understanding of the learning goals. So you'll be able to demonstrate that you know how to use Microsoft Excel. And you are going to be able to independently, by yourself, create a spreadsheet using Microsoft Excel utilizing the tools taught. Now, here's the tools taught down here. Spreadsheet, cell, column, horizontal, vertical, and row. These are the tools and concepts that we need to be able to recognize and talk about. So let's review those words over here. Everything in this yellow box is a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet. So this is your Microsoft spreadsheet. This is where we're going to be working. Okay. This is the cell name, A1. So if my box, if I was working within this cell, it would be A1. The letter stands for the column, which goes up and down. So this column is labeled what? H. Good job. And the number talks about the row, which goes from left to right. And what row is this? 4. Good job. And I mentioned this word already, cell. The cell are the little boxes that make up the spreadsheet. So let's see if we can label this cell. What column is it in? E. Good job. And what row is it in? 10. Good job. So what would be the cell name? E10. Wonderful. So remember, you need to be able to demonstrate the tools shown to create a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet, and you need to be able to use these vocabulary words today. How do I begin? I need to open my Microsoft Excel. So let's start there. Here's my Microsoft Excel icon on my desktop. And it gives you options. I'm going to click on blank workbook. So I click here, and here is my spreadsheet. My next step is to type in the words boys and girls in column A. So I already have the cell A1 highlighted. So I'm going to put boys. I can use the arrow down to go to the next one. Girls. Now I'm going to go to column B and I'm going to insert my data. Now our numbers are different than this. So how many boys did I have? 5. And I use the arrow down to go to the cell next to girls. And how many girls did I have? 4. Good job. Now I need to select the range of data. So I'm going to take my mouse and I click on the word on the cell that has boys in it, A1, and I'm going to drag my cell over and then down. See how these are inside this dark green box? These are all selected. Even though this is not gray, it's still selected. So I now get to create my bar graph. I'm going to click Insert and then Bar Graph. And I can pick any bar graph that I want. I like this one. Okay, so this is where we're going to stop today. We will pick up again in our next session, but we have our chart.